I'm Paul Pearson, host of Star Time, and when I'm not deep frying a turducken in a closed garage, I'm listening to Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
PrEP is a daily pill that can significantly reduce your chances of getting HIV. And typically, it takes a trip to a physician to get it. Now, you can visit select pharmacies, get tested on the spot, and walk away with your first month of PrEP. Plus, you'll also walk away with a $50 gift card after you complete your pharmacy visit. It's easier than ever to protect yourself from HIV. To find your nearest participating pharmacy, go to doh.wa.gov/PrEP now. From the Washington State Department of Health and Public Health, Seattle, and King County.
Rainier Avenue Radio, your community radio station.
This is Cindy Bray, the host of Heartbeat Radio.
Ako po si Rolly Olintan.
This is Paul Pearson, host of Star Time.
This is Paul Schneiderman today on the 73rd edition.
Hey, y'all, welcome to Travelers Guide to Venus and Mars and Census from Risha Fairy Godmothers. Yes, no,
Your home for information about the impact of the
among many things that's difficult about this virus is that it's
been devastating. They're really heartbreaking stories of people who have.
There isn't anyone that isn't impacted.
Shutting our schools down, including all athletic programs.
Your first-hand accounts.
I did take the test and I found out that I was positive.
A lot of people who know me, I'm still the first person they know.
But it was almost like you were patient zero for South Seattle. Your stories of community coming together.
Partner very heavily with Tacoma Urban League, who is doing some amazing work in response.
We're doing things for small businesses. We're giving out loans to small businesses.
And so I think it's very important that we have leaders who feel.
I cannot tell you we're calling 20, 30, 40 minutes.
This crisis in our community, we've been working to address it.
Rainier Avenue Radio, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a month.
DJ Dirty John.
Karen Z with Rainier Avenue Radio.
Hey, this is Sergio LaCour.
Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
Rainier Avenue Radio.world. We got you covered. Local impact, global press.
We broadcast. Welcome to Rainier Avenue Radio.world and our weekly coverage of the impact on communities. Continuation of our series. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us again here. And then again, now we are aware of the fact that we are, and more folks listening that
You are listening to Rainier Avenue Radio,
your community radio station.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to Queen Green's Living Live, broadcasting on Rainier Avenue Radio. It is your host, Queen Bree. I welcome you to this Tuesday morning. Oh my God, it is snowing out here. I do not consent to this snow. Does that make it stop? Because, yeah, I don't like the cold. Anyways, today I'm so excited. We are going to continue our conversation about goals, but before we get started, I wanted to open this up with a land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that we are on traditional land of the first people of Seattle, the Coast Salish, past and present. We honor with gratitude the land itself, the Duwamish, Snoquamish, Nisqually, Snoqualmie, and Muckleshoot tribes. We also acknowledge what has happened on this land to impact the Black lives in our community due to redlining from the systemic and oppressive mechanisms of anti-Black that was enacted by white leaders, politicians, and business people who has robbed Black families of passing down generational wealth. If you are one of those families that has been impacted in Seattle, in the CD, from passing down generational wealth due to redlining, oppressive mechanisms, please contact us at blackdollardays.org and share your story. They are working on ways that we as a community can come together and work on reparations. And as we see, when we work together as a community, when we work together as people, things happen, magic happen. Don't give up. Contact us and let us know your story. Today's special guest, before I introduce them, Daniel, are they here? Daniel, are you okay? Yay! I was like, Daniel, are you here? Hey, Daniel. Our special guest today is Janice Davis, who is going to be coming on here, and we're going to be continuing to talk about goals that I mentioned last week. She's going to come on and help us talk about how do we get organized. And I want to dedicate this time. I think there's going to be a part 1 and part 2 because goals and organization takes more talk than this 30 minutes. And me and Janice, we can talk, honey, and we get so excited and we want to give you as much information as we can. So please welcome on Janice Davis.
Oh, hello.
Hi. Okay,
hello,
so
everybody.
I'm used to calling you Bishop Davis, but I didn't know if in certain, like, radio, I don't want to disrespect. So Bishop Davis in our church setting, but on the show, I don't want to disrespect.
You can call me. My name is Janice. Janice, Janice. Nice, because I'm nice.
I was like, oh, J Nice.
J Nice.
Name J Nice. What's up, J Nice?
That's what my sisters usually say when they see me. What's up, J Nice? So that's my other name.
Well, thank you for taking the time out to come on the show and talk to us.
I'm glad to be here. This is really exciting. And the snow outside, I was surprised. Robert came and said, it's snowing. I was just like, oh, a little bit of snow. I looked outside. There's snow on the roof, on the streets, on the cars. It's really sticking this time.
Yes, I went out to my car to get something. I was like, oh, no. Speaking of organization, I'm one of those people that still have a Christmas shop. So I needed to
Oh, my gosh.
So I can go get that last minute Christmas shopping.
Oh, yes. And you might get a discount.
So last week, I brought up, we were talking about goals. It is the end of the year. We're preparing for 2023. This year flew by, but I'm grateful for this year. I learned so much. And what I learned, I want to take next year goals and really build on it. And so as I started looking through some stuff, I noticed that there was a list of goals that I had, but I had not completed a lot of them.
Absolutely.
And I was like, okay, these goals are hard to complete, but what was missing? That organization about it. But before we get in there, I mentioned last week, I don't know if you guys remember, I was Shawnee O'Neal. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Shawnee O'Neal. I follow her on Facebook, Basketball Wives. Yeah. She's married now to Pastor Keon. She had posted this thing that she does to help organize her thoughts when she's planning an event. And I went back to see what the titles of the quadrants were. And then Pastor Keon had added a little spin to it. So I wanted to show everybody, I don't know if you guys can see this. Oh, this way. This quadrant that can help with goals. It's like goals, things that you want to start, stop, keep, and what are you willing to do? Yeah. So I thought this would be something fun to share.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
That's an excellent start.
Yeah.
That's an excellent start. And it makes it something visual. It gets it out your mind and gets it on the paper that you can visually see what your thoughts are. And my sister actually went to Shawnee's conference down there in Texas.
What was it called? She's something, right? What was
it? Was called Her Say, His Say. His Say, Her Say.
Yes.
Yeah, just a little bit of history. I pastored down there in Humble, Texas.
Oh, nice.
Where they are, right there, go down Humble Road. And the church that they're in is the church that my son graduated from. The prior pastor had a school there, Christian Life Center Academy, and my son attended that school in the church that they're in right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's nice.
So that was my stomping grounds where we started our church ministry, and I really feel that our foundation there really established that community, and they were able to come in because it was a new community, a building, new homes, new stores, shopping malls. And so it's just nice to see that the ministry has moved to the level that they're at, and they're in the place that we were. So I'm just really, really excited about that. So we're talking about goals and talking about organization, and I like what you have there. One thing that we've always done, I'm in behavioral health and in wraparound services, and we always have one thing that we've done with all of our families is something called SMART goals. And I don't know if you've heard that SMART goals. It's simply like something like what Shani, what you showed there, the different compartments, what you want to keep, what's on your mind, compromise, whatever that is. And with this, what you'll do is SMART goals is 5 parts to it. You're setting a specific goal. What is this specific thing? Because a lot of people will say, oh, you hear a lot of people saying, oh, I want to be rich. I want to be famous. I want to be popular. You hear, these outrageous goals, so, and then what you want is something that is specific, specific. I want to go to school. You want to get a job, just simple things, setting those something that is specific. And then with that, make it measurable, that you're measuring. So if you're setting a goal for school, you're setting a goal for school saying, what's measurable is I want to start school in September 2023. And setting that measurable goal, is it something that, is able to achieve, making it measurable, and then achievable. Do you think you'll be able to achieve that? Setting that achievable goal. So you have the measurable, so you got the date, September, achievable. I'll be going to school for 2 to 3 years. And then looking at all those things, I need to work, or am I going to go online? And then making it realistic, making realistic goals. So SMAR, realistic, and then time bound. One thing that I think, Bree, that messes everybody up is setting the time. When am I going to start this? It's in my mind. Even the paper that you just showed, just people can be just thinking about that. But then when are you going to sit down and really write in those squares? You got that paper there. When are you going to sit down and write in those squares? What I do all the time, I have a journal and I write all the time. I'm always writing. I always have thoughts. I wake up, I have thoughts. And so with that, I take all these thoughts and I keep them. And when I have those thoughts, I then put and then this is where the organization comes is, okay, let's talk about, let's say an event. I have an event. It's in my mind. I wrote down the idea. Now we need to build how to execute, how to make that happen. And so with setting that goal, it's really just taking the time to, and this is where the organization comes in, taking the time to organize, to sit down and say, okay, number one, what is it that I need to be effective? Some people, you can write, you can talk in a tape recorder, do a video, whatever your learning curve is. Me, I just have to write. I'm very visual, so I have to see. So setting your SMART goals, making sure you have those goals that if you come to my house, you will see stuff all on my wall. I have things posted, things just written, the thoughts that eventually I'll say, okay, I'm gonna work on this one today. So we talked about this is the end of the year, and guess what everyone's thinking about right now?
New Year's
resolution. What am I gonna do next year, 2023?
Continue on. If you're just tuning in, you're tuning in to Queen Green's Living, broadcasted live on Rainier Avenue Radio. I am your host, Queen Bree, and we have Janice Lee in here. We are talking about SMART goals. We are talking about how to organize those goals. Janice, you mentioned something about, like, when people mention these goals, they talk about, they think rich. They think, how can I make more money? And Daniel said those goals are pipe dreams. When we talk about like how can we get famous? How can we get rich? How can we do those dreams? I mean, when we're setting our goals, like you said, the SMART goals, if you want to be rich, why do you want to be rich? Let's think about this. Let's process our goals. Like, when you're doing your goals, process why these goals. What are these goals going to do to build you up? And it's not always about money. Think about character. Think about legacy. Think about what are you building. So always when you're sitting here and you're setting your goals, let's think about why these goals. And I'm gonna kick it back to you because you was on a roll, and I'm over here. I'm taking notes and I'm adding.
Oh, no, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. Absolutely. And a lot of times, like I said, we're thinking about what we're going to do next year, what I didn't accomplish this year, and then even with these goals and getting organized is that follow through. And even with, I'm just thinking about the scripture that says in Proverbs, the 29th chapter, it says, where there is no vision, the people are unrestrained. Be happy in he who keeps the law. So even with this, we have to have, there's so many goals. Us as an individual, you as a person, we have so many goals. I'm going to use you as an example. You have goals for your marriage. You have goals for your children. You have goals for yourself. You have goals for the community, goals for your whole family, including your mom, your community. We have all kinds of goals that we're trying to reach. And how do we reach those goals? And it's an everyday process. Every day, because every day when I wake up, I say, okay, what am I going to accomplish today? When I was raising my children, I always ask, what is your goal for today? There has to be something that you're doing daily towards that goal. If that goal is, let's say you want to, you'll have your own business. Every day you're waking up, what's the name of your business? Every day you're waking up, I need to get the business license. I need to be able to get advertisement, find people, hiring. Every day is working towards that goal that you're going to accomplish. And a big thing is just following through, having that vision. Like it says, to write the vision, make it plain. When I go back to those SMART goals, we did this with children in the community, with families. We would sit down with the families and say, let's set your SMART goals. What does your life look like? And you can do a 5-year plan, 3-year plan, 1-year plan, and then it could just be a weekly plan. This week, a lot of times when we're working with people to get them motivated to work towards their goal, sometimes we just say, set one goal for this week, at least one. What do you want to accomplish this week? Some might say, you know what? I'm going to work on one job application. But okay, let's work towards that. Let's work towards that one job application. And then what does it take to work on that job? Do you have a computer? Are you able to log on? Are you able to search? Do you have a laptop? Are you able to go, or do you have to go down to the library searching for a job? And then that could be another goal. My goal is to get a job. And then next is that I'm going to purchase a laptop.
Those are good goals. I remember when I used to work I used to work at this place. I don't want to keep name dropping the place just in case. But I used to and we used to work with our clients, like you said, weekly. And I liked it. And look, if you can get a life coach or get a friend that you can check in with and hold accountable, because I think that that helps too with the goals. It's like we would meet with the clients and we would get with them and we would assess their needs. So when you're making those goals, assess your goals and assess your needs. And then we will break it down to like you said, 1 to 3 goals that they can accomplish that week. And then we would check in with each other that following week to
Yes.
see what goals that they were able to accomplish.
Absolutely.
And I'm learning too, sometimes we need that person to help hold us accountable. And not everybody can afford a life coach, but if you are lucky enough to have people around you that will check in with you, those are good things to add when you're doing your SMART goals too. And I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt your thought. I
Oh
just
no, and I think that's great. And even, you know, we're saying life coach. You know, a life coach can be, it could be your neighbor. It could be, you know, someone that you just happen, you know, used to be like even the cashier in the store. How are you doing on that goal? How are things coming? You know, they're checking in. You know, a life coach doesn't necessarily have to be someone that's that is their job. You know, when we grew up, who were our mentors? It was that missionary in the church. It was, you know, that person that was a member of the church, or somebody in the community that had a hair shop. I remember Sister Turner had a hair shop right there off of Cherry, and she had a school, and she was someone that encouraged everyone to do business, help so many women. So it could be a business person. So even with that, having somebody that you can trust, lean on, and you want, and another thing is, whatever your goal is, you would want to be with someone that's been in that field. If someone that, if you're going to do hair, you know, find someone in the hair business. You know, we have Google and to research, you know, how they made it. Look at their stories and what their pros and cons were to be successful in that business. So, you know, people have goals and they don't realize that they're working towards those goals. They don't realize that you're actually doing it. And so what I recommend, like I said, having those SMART goals, to write them down. I have so many of these journal books, so many of these that just full of notes that I'm constantly writing. Like this one. I was working, I don't know if you can see, this was 11/2021. I was working on starting to hire staff, what that was going to take, what that was going to look like. Am I going to get a consultant to do the hiring? Am I going to do it myself? What does that process look like? Where are we going to advertise the jobs? Are we going to do it on Indeed? We're going to put it in the newspaper. We're going to put it in the fax. We're going to put it in Seattle Medium. You know, even with that, just having it written down and keeping that journal, you writing down every day what you've accomplished, what you've worked towards. And what helps me is having a checklist. Those are big for me. Having a checklist to write down, these are the things I need to do, and I can go back and I can check off, okay, I accomplished that.
That makes me feel so good when I write down my checklist, to-do list. Yes. And it's like, oop, I checked that off the list. Off the list. But one thing that I do too is I notice, okay, so I will write the to-do list and I will get 1, overwhelmed, 2, mad if I didn't get something done. 1, I want to suggest that when you're writing your to-do list and you're getting those goals down, try to keep them short. Don't give yourself too many to-do things to do in one day. 1. And 2, you know, we get so wrapped up in this hustle and bustle of the world. If you do not complete something on your to-do list today, not the end of the world. Do not beat yourself up. What I like to do is go back and look at the things that I did accomplish. And I realized that I accomplished so much that I need to relax and just keep it moving for the next day. But a to-do list, it makes me feel so much better.
It's a reference, and that's a part of that SMART goal that you Smart, make it measurable. Make it a measurable goal. You don't just wake up in the morning and say, oh my God, I'm going to make $10,000 today. Well, where are you going to go? What's the plan? I don't know. I'm just going to make $10,000 today. It don't matter. We have to have those measurable, realistic goals. And so even with that, we're talking about today, we're just talking about just setting, what does that look like? Writing it down, putting it someplace where you can look at it, put it on the wall, or even in your phone. If you want to put it on where you open your phone and you just see your goals, so that you don't forget, because a lot of times, life happens, things happen where, we can get off course and move into a different direction. I was just thinking about, even in the community right now, we're having so many losses, so many deaths, aunts, uncles. It's every week. Leaders in our community that are passing, that can cause us to go into, hopelessness. That can cause us to go into grieving. And the other thing, a part of goals is, how do we stay motivated? So you might not have made your goal. You might have missed your goal. But then, how do we stay motivated? And we need to have something on our goals that keeps us looking towards, this is the benefit. This is going to be the benefit of this goal. And it has to be something that you desire, something that inspires you. And I want to also put in there to do you, to be you, do the gifts that God has given you. Don't compare yourself to others. A lot of times we have social media, we have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have TikTok, we have all this social media. And it's easy to get caught away with, oh my God, look what Bree's doing. Oh my God, her makeup is so beautiful. Oh, look at all the great things she's doing. They can get caught up in that and say, I want to be like Bree. But we have to realize we got to realize that God has given us our unique gifts, our unique personalities, and make your goals that are yours, and don't compare to others. Say, this is my life, this is my lane, this is my zone, and you will be successful in that. Look at Steve Jobs. He wasn't trying to be a hairdresser. He was not trying to be an auto mechanic. He knew he loved computers, and that was his lane, his zone. And he was working at IBM. He was bringing in his ideas, and they didn't like his ideas, and ended up getting fired from that job. But guess what? He had a goal. He knew his capabilities, and he went ahead and started his own company. He was not comparing himself to anybody. He just said, you know what? This is my idea. This is what I desire to do. And he created.
I like that. Yeah. I feel like that's a good thing to end, because our time is running up. And I think that's a good thing to end on this week.
No, we can't end. No,
we can't end. I was about to say, we have you back next week, right? You coming back next week, right?
I haven't even got to my scriptures.
Right. Well, hopefully you're going to come back next week. We'll talk more offline. But I like how you ended that, how Steve Jobs was at a job and they were not listening to him. And he took that and he did on his own. And sometimes you have to, in the words of friends, pivot into something different and make it your own. Just because you're denied and just because you are turned down or fired doesn't mean that it's over. Does not mean that your goals were not right and they weren't for you. It just means that you got to pivot to something else.
That's right.
Hopefully we have you back again next week, Janice.
I would love to. This was fun. I can't believe it's over.
All right. I told you it goes by so fast. Okay, good. Like y'all heard it first. She said yes, she's gonna be here next week.
Yes.
She's gonna bring us back her her scriptures. I took some notes that I wanted to talk to her about, and we talk about on the show. So I'm excited to
Okay.
this conversation about goals and organization.
Yeah.
And how do we get that thought out of our head and then into action? It's easy
Yes.
to get it on paper, but we got to get into action. So you guys, thank you for tuning into Clean Greens Living. I will see you guys next week, same time. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Love you
Bye,
guys.
Dennis.
Bye, Bree. I love you. You look gorgeous.